Free trade jobs that are facing massive labor shortages in 2026. And when I say massive, I mean the industry will need to bring in 805,000 new workers by 2027. This doesn't mean that companies are just hiring casually right now. It means that they're short-staffed, that work is piling up, and jobs are getting delayed because there's simply not enough people to do the work. This is an entire category of desperate employers raising starting salaries, lowering requirements to get in, and changing how they hire to begin with just to keep their businesses alive. Most people think the trades might be too hard for them or that it's going to be too tough to get a job. But the people inside know the real problems of what is going on. There aren't enough qualified workers, and there aren't enough employers who have the resources to train on the job. And this issue isn't just causing a labor shortage in one place. It's happening across 3 different layers of the blue-collar world. And if you understand these different layers, you're going to have way more options than most people realize. I saw this firsthand working 13 years in maintenance and property management, managing multi-million-dollar residential and commercial buildings. The biggest problem I had wasn't people paying rent, it was coordinating to get repairs done because there weren't enough people to do the work. Before we start, I want to remind you that I'm not here to tell you what job to pick. This video is about showing you where the leverage is right now so you can decide where you fit best. The truth is that this shortage is coming from people not knowing all the options you can get into and a misunderstanding of what blue-collar trade work is really like. But it's also not understanding what these companies are looking for and how they actually hire for these jobs. The good news is that this confusion can be your advantage if you make yourself aware and position yourself right. Category 1 are the skilled trades. This is the obvious one. Electricians, HVAC techs, plumbers, welders. These jobs are the foundation to everything. When they're short, everything gets disrupted. Electricians are especially stretched thin right now because everything is going electric at the same time. EV chargers, solar installs, data centers, smart buildings. Demand has exploded, but the workforce hasn't grown with it. I knew an electrician who was the only one in the area with a tall enough lift, and he would change all the exterior building lights at the 6-story high-rise building that I managed, and because the lights' locations were so high up, he would charge a ton of money. HVAC is in the same spot. Every summer and winter proves it. Contractors aren't turning down work because demand is low. They're turning it down because they don't have enough qualified techs. In property management, the most heated calls were people being uncomfortable in their apartments. When a furnace, boiler, or air conditioner is out, people freak out, and the longer they have to wait, the more upset they get. Renters want the benefits of renting, and an upset renter can leave a negative review and negatively impact the business. No one wants that. Plumbers are short everywhere too. And a big misconception with plumbing is that most people think you'll always be handling the doo-doo. But it could be old infrastructure or new construction, not just emergency calls with toilets backing up. And remember, none of this stops just because the economy slows down. One time I had a resident flush a towel, which caused a clog in the main and created a backup in our parking lot. The line needed to be snaked and it was a real mess, but I've also helped renovate many new apartments where a plumber comes in and installs things and touches things that are only brand new. A sneaky one are welders, and they're critical for a lot of things. Think manufacturing, infrastructure like buildings, bridges, or fabrication like car repair shops. If you can weld well, there's endless work waiting. I hired a mobile welder once who repaired a cell tower on our roof, and just because we didn't have an available power source, he capitalized and got a big check. These jobs pay good money starting out, but they're not shortcuts to getting rich because, let's be honest, nothing is. What they are safe, proven paths that will set you up for a bright future if you plan it right. You could leverage working jobs like these because you gain the skills, you gain the experience, and you understand how the business works. You don't enter these with them being your final destination. You enter them because of what you could do after working within them. This category gets the most attention, but it's also where a lot of people stop progressing. They get comfortable, and that's a mistake because the massive trade shortage doesn't stop with people doing the dirty work. Category number 2, trade-related construction roles. This is where a lot of opportunities get missed. Pre-construction and construction management. Every construction project starts with planning, pricing, blueprinting, and figuring out everything before anything gets built. Jobs like architectural drafters who plan out blueprints, usually from home on software like AutoCAD, and construction estimators who bid on jobs and price out things. Construction managers or construction construction project managers coordinate the construction while it's being built. You're managing the people doing the heavy lifting. These are all still blue-collar trade jobs, they're just not tool-related. Think old bridges or buildings that need repair or demolition. Between the population growth and things getting older, construction will always be hiring and they will always need people to manage it. As skilled labor gets harder to find, projects get harder to manage. Schedules slip, budgets blow up, and mistakes get expensive fast. That's why good construction managers are in short supply right now. If I had to pick, estimators are the most overlooked. It goes beyond construction because every contractor needs accurate bids just to survive. I recently got a landscaping quote for my house, which was all done virtually because they were able to use GPS and figure out the costs. When labor is scarce and material prices keep changing, estimators become harder and more valuable at the same time. Here's the key difference. People who start in the skilled trades often move into roles like this because they're easier on your body long term. If you don't end up starting your own business within the skilled trades and hire people to do the heavy lifting, then this is a great option for a long-term, high-paying, stable career. Remember, when labor is tight, the people who plan, price, and coordinate the work become super valuable assets. They're not just easy jobs, so you need to make sure that you're a good fit. Estimating projects, you should enjoy working with numbers or math. Architectural drafting, maybe you are more creative, enjoy working solo on the computer, and want to work from home. Project management is great if you like seeing and being responsible for buildings coming to life. Remember though, you're not going to get hired in these jobs unless you know how to actually run software like Bluebeam or AutoCAD and have a general understanding of how trades operate. And that brings us to the third category, the one almost nobody talks about. Category 3, jobs benefiting from the blue-collar trade boom. This is where a lot of people watching this fit and have no idea. These jobs exist because the trades are creating opportunity. A truck driver named Brandon landed a freight broker position, allowing him to spend more time with his family at home. He upskilled by taking a sales course, and because of his trucking background, it made him an ideal candidate for his current position. Freight brokers are really salespeople just working in supply chain roles, which is another industry that is booming because of the trades. When construction and infrastructure are moving, materials have to move too. Supply chain doesn't need just drivers, it needs people who understand coordination, logistics, and sales. Companies in construction and supply chain are hiring for normal positions too, like accountants, data analysts, human resources, and more. Tow truck drivers are another one people joke about until they think about it for 2 seconds. Self-driving cars still break down. Nobody has perfected self-driving towing. And as long as cars exist, towing exists. Car crash on the thruway is a massive disruption, and if you come save the day, you play a critical role. Another is property maintenance and management, which is one of the biggest sleeper paths out there. People will always need a place to live, and as boomers get older, more and more are deciding to become renters. In maintenance, you learn how to paint, fix things, troubleshoot systems, and for a lot of people, that turns into industrial maintenance or facilities technician roles. More stability, better pay, less chaos. And in management, you learn how to run every aspect of the business and prepares you for being a real estate owner. These jobs don't sound impressive on paper, but they're always stable because they exist no matter whether the economy is hot or cold. Before we go any further, this is really important. This labor shortage creates a massive opportunity for you. And remember, this is only the top 3 categories. The entire blue-collar ecosystem is desperate for workers across jobs most people aren't even aware of. Fire alarm system techs, pest control techs are an example. Not glorious jobs, but fire alarm system companies and pest control companies need salespeople, accountants, and more. It's not always about doing the dirty work. It's about following who is making the money and who will continue to and getting a job within it. Employers don't need you to know everything. They need proof that you won't slow the entire team down. Here's what most people miss. Having basic foundation in electrical, HVAC, plumbing, construction management, or estimating, skills like sales, accounting, data analytics, supply chain, or procurement, and knowing how to present your new skills makes you far more employable even if you went to trade school or have a college degree. As long as it's aligned, it signals something important. You're passionate and you could do certain aspects of the job on day one. To get my current job, that's exactly how I approached it. I combined my maintenance and property management experience with a recent technical foundation in sales skills, and I ended up landing a work-from-home role that's still benefiting directly from the blue-collar trade boom. I didn't guess my way into the job either. I tested multiple career paths first by taking free intro courses to figure figure out which one actually fit me before committing to anything. I also used a free AI career counselor to ask real questions to make sure the job I wanted would be a good fit. I figured out the day-to-day work, the hiring expectations, pay ranges, and then work backwards from there. This will lead you to something I think more people need to hear. Getting hired in 2026 is actually a 3-step process. First, you need to find the work that you actually want to do, not what sounds good online, but what fits how you want to live and work. Second, you need to acquire the skills to do that job on day one by matching what employers are already asking for in job descriptions. Third, and this is the part that most people skip, is you need to learn how the hiring process actually works. Because you could have all the skills in the world, but if you don't know how to present them to hiring managers, you'll never stand out. Understanding things from the employer's side is exactly what Course Careers taught me after I took their tech sales course. Employers don't even want to waste time on an interview if you can't prove you have what it takes to do the actual job. When I hired people in property management, I didn't want to guess. I wanted them to paint. I had them do a work order, and I needed proof that you could actually do the job and take the job seriously. Course Careers works because you explore careers first using free intro courses. You have access to a free career counselor that after a few questions will direct you to a specific intro course. The intro course will teach you more about the career, what you will be tasked with day to day, and how to get a job within it fast. It's going to narrow things down to figure out what is actually a good fit for you. And if you continue to one of their full programs, you go into it knowing you are a fit and you have everything you need to actually get a job. By signing up to one of the free intro courses using my link, it will lock you into a $50 discount to any of their full programs as long as you purchase relatively soon. Also, it tracks who purchases, and if you do, you will get my continued personalized support. Just feel free to reach out and I can help you. The real question isn't which job pays the most. It's which layer of this labor shortage fits how you actually want to work. Because all 3 layers are short on people, and the people who understand where they fit are the ones who will win. Which category surprised you the most? And if this helps you see the landscape differently, hit the like button. If you want more honest breakdowns like this, please make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.